Hello everyone, my name is Joshua and this is the 163rd video on my video journal series. Today's date is Tuesday, the 21st of July 2026. How's everyone been? I've been pretty good, thank you. And today I went to the thrift store and I bought myself some DVDs. They were $3 each, so it was a total of $9 plus 50 cents for a paper bag, so it was $9.50. But yeah, and they had like a lot of DVDs there. They actually had some like box sets which were like, cheaper than the individual DVDs. And I was thinking of getting a few, but I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll hold these off. Because obviously I like to inspect the condition of the discs before buying. And if I'm looking for an entire box set, that's gonna take too much time. And I don't want to buy a box set and one of the DVDs is like bust. But that really happens whenever I go to thrift stores, all the DVDs are in good nick. And obviously I looked through all of these and there's stuff that like interests me, pieces of media which I'm sentimental towards or I like, or media that I haven't watched but I know them because I've seen it on YouTube or my parents watched it or I know of the franchise but I haven't watched any of like the specific uh, films or TV episodes or whatever. But anyway, I'm gonna go into them, and hopefully I can do more thrift store haul videos because I like doing them. Yeah, so the first thing I picked up, all these were from the same store, by the way, same thrift store, same haul, is John Farnham, The Last Time, complete and uncut. Now, for my international viewers who live outside of Australia or maybe the UK, John Farnham is a very famous Australian singer. I think he's retired now. And he did this. Obviously, he's very well known in Australia. If you ask any Australian, they'll be able to know who John Farnham is. Vast majority, I mean. Like, obviously, there's going to be that small percentage you don't. But yeah, he's a very famous singer. Most well known for his song "The Voice," which was released in through the album "Whispering Jack." Was that 80s or 90s? I keep on forgetting. But anyway, and he did the confusing thing about John Farnham, he did two final tours. The Last Time, this one, I'm not sure if it was his second final or final tour. And I do know there was like a little bit of like confusion, he did two final tours, but yeah, this must be from one of them. It's just a recording of like his quote unquote final tour. June 15th, 2003. And I don't really have much concert CD or DVDs, sorry. I don't really have much, music related stuff. But, yeah, it is, interesting. It was, recorded in, Melbourne Park, Rod Laver Arena. That's what it says at the back. Gives a little bit of, like, a description of, like, who John Farnham is, about the DVD and all that. And yeah, obviously I haven't played any of these DVDs I've had over here. So I don't know if like they're operational, but the discs look like they're in good nick, so I won't doubt it. And yeah, it comes with like obviously part one, part two, credits. Does it come with any? It says complete and uncut. Bonus feature under the top. So it does come with a bonus feature. And yeah, for the price, $3, I don't mind. And I like listening to John Farnham, especially Whispering Jack. Age of Reason was another album as well, and there are also songs, by the way. Age of Reason, the song and the album. Whispering Jack, You're the Voice, Pressure Down, and all those songs. In fact, all the songs are listed, like all the main ones are listed over here, like Age of Reason, which I just talked about. Burn For You, that's another good song. Chain Reaction, Two Strong Hearts, Pressure Down, You're the Voice. You're the Voice is towards the end because obviously that's his like most famous one, the magnum opus. But yeah, I reckon a lot of my international viewers or those who are watching this video overseas, if you really like rock music, if you really like Phil Collins, I recommend you go check out John Farnham. He very much reminds me of Phil Collins, just the music. And yeah, he's got a very good voice. I like his music, especially if you're like into 80s and 90s stuff. I'll check out John Farnham. But yeah, I hope to give this one a watch and see John. Obviously, this was over 20 years ago, but to see him perform, because I think now, like, well, recently he lost his voice. I know that was news, but yeah, very excited to see this one when I get the time. And the next one I have, oh man, I really wish I can watch more from this franchise, and that is Beavis and Butthead. Specifically, this is from their movie Beavis and Butthead Do America, the first Beavis and Butthead film. Now, my dad was a big Beavis and Butthead fan. He had a MTV all the way back in the the prehistoric times of the '90s, and and he used to record Beavis and Butthead videos onto Beavis and Butthead, sorry, airings onto videotapes, VHS tapes. So yeah, he was a big fan of Beavis and Butthead, and I think he introduced me to Beavis and Butthead. And I think he's watched the movie also, but this would have been like years and years ago. And yeah, like this movie was released in I think 1996, and I've seen clips from this movie, and it's hilarious. Basically, Beavis and Butthead is about it's a show that aired on MTV, obviously in the 90s, but then it got like a revival in the 2010s, and then there was a recent revival on, I think it was HBO Max. And it's about like these two, well, Beavis and Butthead, two guys who, you know, basically it's about their lives, right? As, quote unquote idiots, but I consider them to be intellectuals. But yeah, like, and the episodes, at least the old episodes, revolved around these two guys wandering around town, getting up to stuff, causing quote unquote trouble, and then the other half of the episode will be them watching music videos, because obviously it aired on MTV, and it'll be basically them reacting to music videos, kind of like YouTube videos now, where you get someone reacting to someone. Beavis and Butthead did it first, and obviously, I have watched some of the older, you know episodes of Beavis and Butthead, but clearly not enough. I love to watch the entire series, and I really like to watch this movie in full. Because basically it's a movie about him being chased by, I think it's a CIA. Oh no, sorry, FBI. Yeah, it's basically their quarrel with the FBI, and it's a very like complex film. It's very ontological, if you know what I mean. Certainly a film to analyze, but it's a very funny film. They do go around America, right? It's basically like an American road trip movie, and I think it's like it follows like the Blues Brothers format of like the butterfly effect, where you get like one small thing that leads to a great big thing. So in the Blues Brothers movie, one traffic violation ends up an entire police chase around the United States. Where the movie ends in Chicago, and you got the Blues Brothers. They go in the tax building, and they've got like the entire police force chasing after them. This sort of reminds me of I guess this movie kind of reminds me of that sort of concept where I believe like they get into some like very minor trouble at the start, but then they later attract the attention of the FBI. Um, I'm just looking at the blurb at the back. The mini plot summary. Um, yeah, honestly, that's what I remember from the clips from watching this movie on like YouTube. But hopefully, I'll give this movie a full watch, and maybe even a review, like my thoughts on Beavis and Butthead to America. But yeah, again, it's a very funny film. I'll certainly love to give a full watch. And yeah, for $3, you can't go wrong. And I'm just seeing what bonus features this has. Yeah, it's got some bonus features like theatrical trailers, celebrity shorts, TV spots, commentary. Yeah, that's another thing. Yeah, and this is what like the back of it looks like. Yeah, it comes with a lot, and yeah, I will definitely be checking this one out. And this is most probably the favorite of the most probably my favorite DVD out of the bunch. So yeah, and then we got another animated sort of DVD. This one is of a movie. Well, it's quote unquote a movie, but it's more like 3 episodes just stitched together, and that is Family Guy, Stewie Griffin: The Untold Story. Now, obviously, I have watched some Family Guy episodes before. mostly the older series. The newer stuff is okay in my eyes, but the older series is like the gold in my opinion. And Family Guy never really had a theatrical movie like The Simpsons, South Park, or even Beavis and Butthead. The closest Family Guy ever got to a movie was Stewie Griffin: The Untold Story, which is basically like, I think it's like, um, just like, um, a bunch of like episodes of the Family Guy TV show sort of like stitched together. It was like direct to DVD sort of thing. It never got like a theatrical release, but it does feel like separate episodes just like combined into one uh, movie. And there's nothing wrong with that. I have heard of The Untold Story before. I've seen some clips on YouTube and it looks fine. Um, and yeah, this is like a straight to DVD sort of thing. Um, and obviously, this was released in around 2005. That's what it says at the back. Copyright 2005. Um, this DVD also has copyright 2006, around that time, and yeah, like obviously I'm not like a massive Family Guy fan. I don't know like all the ins and outs, but I picked this up because I haven't really watched the Stewie Griffin: The Untold Story. I think it's like about Stewie meeting his like future self. Um, just reading like the blurb at the back, it's like Stewie to make baby genius distracted from his plans. Yeah, convinces this man is his real father. Stewie sets off on a cross-country road trip to find his real father, which I think is just his future self. Discoveries for far more violent and shocking than anything found in his diaper. Alright, so it's basically Stewie Griffin from Family Guy, which is the baby going around the United States. But I'm pretty sure he does meet his future self. And yet again, it has special features, audio commentary by Seth MacFarlane, the creator of the Family Guy series, um, multi-angle animatic comparison segments. All right, so it's got some, I guess, segments from, or maybe just like extra footage. And then there's American Dad preview, because this DVD would have been released around the time that American Dad started airing. So yeah, it's got American Dad preview. Not as much special features as the other two, but yet again though, for a direct to DVD movie, it does pack a little bit of a punch. It's certainly more than some Blu-rays that I have, which really give you nothing. And this is like what the back of the DVD looks like, where you can like see that blurb. Oh, my camera quality is not that good. You can't really see it in full, but yeah, I'm excited to, I guess, watch this one. Yet again, though, I'll like to watch a lot more of the, I guess, older Family Guy episodes, like seasons 1 through 3. That's what I heard. It's like the golden age. And then like 4 to 7 seasons, 4 to 7, I heard aren't also that bad. They're like pretty okay. Then you got the Family Guy Blue Harvest. That like Star Wars parody that they did. I watched a little bit of like those, just in like small segments, small clips, and that seems interesting. That there's plenty of funny scenes in like that series of parody. I guess they weren't really films. They were just like, oh yeah, there were films. They're like extended or like special episodes, which were like longer than usual. Things that they did, and yeah, I remember something a little bit unrelated. I remember playing a lot of Family Guy Back to the Multiverse at my cousin's place. They had a PlayStation 3. I think they still got it. And there was this PS3 game, yeah, called Family Guy Back to the Multiverse. And I remember playing the multiplayer mode of that game with them, and that's just got like a very distinct memory in my mind whenever I think of Family Guy. It was basically this like platformer sort of game where you can play as different Family Guy characters in like this 3D environment, and you complete like tasks and all that. But I also had like a multiplayer mode where you like get put in like an arena and you like verse off each other as Family Guy characters, which I thought was very fun as a kid. But yeah, Stewie Griffin: The Untold Story. I'm very I guess excited to watch this one as well. And that pretty much concludes the end of the haul. Yet again though, quite small, but yet it's also gold because these are all like DVDs from like franchises or things that I'll be interested in or are interested in. Um, and there were like a bunch more things at the thrift store that I could have gotten. They had some like Carl Barron DVDs, which for those who don't know, Carl Barron is a famous Australian comedian, and I quite like his works. In fact, I actually um, you know, I was greatly inspired by his comedy. You know, like my comedy in real life is pretty much based on people like Carl Barron. Um, you know, and he's a very funny Australian comedian. I highly recommend you go check him out. They have like sort of like a box set of like his stand up specials, and I noticed that it didn't have like all the stand up specials that he did, but it was like dirt cheap, and I wish I would have gotten it. I kind of regret not getting it because it was cheap, but I was like, you know what, maybe I'll hold it off. Maybe I'll look online for a better deal. Maybe I'll look online for like a more extensive box set. And they had like a bunch of Seinfeld DVDs. Yet again, I already got the entire Seinfeld DVD collection because my dad bought like the box set to that, over a decade ago. It's like this Seinfeld um, complete edition box set. It's got like a coffee table book and all that. So yeah, I have no problem trying to access Seinfeld. Um, and yeah, they had like a bunch of other things, and this is why I love going to thrift stores to get like DVDs and physical media because they have like so much of it. They've got like such a great range. They have a lot of classic and new movies and TV shows, and they're all dirt cheap. And I always like to yet again just inspect the discs. But yet again, they're $3 a pop, for the DVD. So even if it doesn't work or has like problems, it really isn't the end of the world. But yeah, like they really have video games, so that's something I don't really notice a whole lot in thrift stores nowadays. At least the ones I go to, they might have like one Nintendo Wii game or a few PS2 games that no one really cares about. But apart from that, it's very limited. But I think that's because obviously now people are only starting to buy up DVDs. I did go in a thrift store. I saw some guy carrying like a Father Ted DVD, and obviously I still got the Father Ted complete series box set that I bought from JB Hi-Fi, so I don't really need more Father Ted DVDs. But I'm noticing, yeah, more people are buying DVDs from thrift stores, which is, I guess, nice to see. But yeah, there's still like a ton of things, and it seems to like change every while. So you see new things pop up onto the shelves, and yeah, I'll keep on going hunting for more DVDs. Yet again, it isn't like so much like just buying anything. I want to buy stuff that I'll be interested in. So yeah, that's why I like to keep my hauls sort of small. So then, obviously I can fit it all into one video, and I can really give like a detailed explanation on why I picked what I picked. Um, and I had like a look at other things around the thrift store, clothes and all that. But yeah, like even then though, a lot of it's just like, stuff that's been there for ages. And I'm like, all right, I'm not interested. It's not my size. But yeah, it's really capped off this video. I'm glad with what I got. I'll definitely be giving all of these a watch, maybe even a review. Who knows if I find it interesting for a review or my thoughts on any one of these DVDs. And I recommend you go to your local thrift store and you look for any DVDs or CDs, or even if you're lucky, Blu-ray. To I guess buy, because it's always good to buy secondhand, and you never know what you might find. You might find something that's worth like hundreds of dollars in a thrift store. I've certainly had those experiences before. And yeah, these are, I guess, like they're pretty old pieces of media, certainly over the age of 20 at the bare minimum, but like I said, old but gold. And yeah, hopefully I'll be able to go to more thrift stores, different types of thrift stores, different thrift stores from all around Sydney, and pick out some things that really interest me. And yeah, that's pretty much it. As for the rest of the week, what's the update? I don't really have much planned for the rest of the week. I've been mostly, doing some pre-work for next week, obviously. But apart from that, it's going to be relatively chill, which is how I like it. If I have 1 week left or less than a week left or freedom, I might as well, just stay at home and prep for what's going to be happening next week when I resume my studies. And yeah, apart from that though, if you stayed around to the end of the video, thank you. Even if you gave this video a glance or whatever, still thank you yet again for clicking and listening to me talk about a bunch of DVDs essentially. But anyway, I will catch you all tomorrow, and I'll see you. I already said tomorrow though. What else can I say? I'll catch you all later. Let's leave it at that. I'll catch you all later. Have a great one.